What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 307, and it might be a Remember the Game record setting. I don't know what the record is, but it is a third straight prestigious Patreon poll winning episode. My backlog from hell is going to hell. 2 weeks ago, we covered Donkey Kong 64. Last week, it was NFL Blitz. And this time around, we are talking about the game that conquered our Nintendo DS-themed poll a couple of months ago, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. I just looked at the Mario and Luigi franchise on the old Wikipedia there, and not counting the remakes, there's 5 Mario and Luigi games right now. Superstar Saga was the first. We've covered that one on the show here. I've played Bowser's Inside Story. I've never played Dream Team or Paper Jam. And then this was my first experience with Partners in Time and my first Mario and Luigi game probably since I played Bowser's Inside Story like 15 years ago. That's crazy. And I gotta say, I quite liked it. It's pretty good. If you've never played the Mario and Luigi games, they're like RPGs with some action elements. There's some platforming puzzles in between the battles. They're usually pretty funny games. There's witty writing. Very along the lines of the humor you'd find in like the Paper Mario games. The combat has the timed hit stuff from Paper Mario, Mario RPG, etc. You hit the buttons at the right times, you do more damage. Different combos and weird moves that require different button presses and different attacks and all that good stuff. They're not super challenging games, but the thing is, games don't always have to be hard, right? That's fine. Partners in Time sees Mario and Luigi traveling back through time to try to rescue Princess Peach. They end up running into Baby Mario and Luigi back in the past, and then you end up playing as all 4 of them. Mario and Baby Mario, Luigi and Baby Luigi, going through the past and the present. They're going all over the place, both in combat and in the overworld. They've each got different abilities, and you're using them to solve puzzles. You're always splitting up into teams to solve puzzles and stuff like that. I put about, 18 or 19 hours into this one, playing it on my DS. I finished it. I really liked it up until the final couple of bosses. They annoyed the fuck out of me. We are going to spoil all that, be aware, and all that stuff in just a minute. My guest this week is my buddy Keegs, who's a regular on the RPG episodes around here these days, and I would like to tell you what we talked about, but in a very rare switcheroo, I'm actually recording this infamous intro before we record the game chat. We usually do the game chat days in advance, if not weeks in advance. I'm recording this at 3:12 on Tuesday, August 20th. We're going to be doing the game chat at around 7 o'clock on Tuesday, August 20th. And then the episode, assuming I get it edited in time, will go live at 10 p.m. on Tuesday, August 20th. So Tuesday, August 20th is a big day around here, but I have no fucking idea what we talked about. All I can assure you is that there's going to be spoilers, and we're probably going to ramble on for an hour or so. And we'll get there in just a minute, because speaking of rambling on, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. Seriously, thank you so much for listening, but consider this your warning. Our intros are long. They're not that long, but they're long. We talk video games and stuff. They're a good time. They're good. They're good shit. But if you want to skip them, if you just want Mario and Luigi talk, I get it. I will say our intros are like half the length of that final boss fight in fucking Partners in Time. Fuck me. I can't wait to rant about that fucking fuck. What an abomination that was. But we'll get to all that. If you do want to skip the intro, take your little slider to about the 30-minute mark. You should be in there. I recommend giving it a listen. We talk video games and stuff. It's good times. Quickly, I'm going to do my plugs. You can find all of our merchandise, clothes, posters, coffee mugs, etc. at RememberTheGamePodcast.com. Shout out to my man Joe from 4545 Creative for designing it. It is awesome. And of course, if you don't like clothes, I get it. Maybe check out our Patreon. A quick heads up. I have built a collection of 12 of our Patreon exclusive podcasts over on Patreon that anyone can listen to for free. You don't even have to be a member. They're just sitting there. Anyone can check them out. They're ad-free if you're interested in seeing, trying the first bite, and then I'm going to try to sell you the case of cookies. But if you want to go over there and check them out, 12 free episodes waiting for you. Because our Patreons get up to 4 ad-free new podcasts every week. Every Monday, Purple Monkey Dishwasher, Mark McHugh and I are talking The Simpsons. Every Tuesday, it's Game Patch, where I look at all the biggest news in video games. Every Thursday, it's Expansion Pass, where I just talk about video games in some other way that I didn't do on Remember the Game. And every Friday, it's The Rambling Idiot, where I vlog and talk about whatever I want. On Expansion Pass, we do all kinds of rankings. We look back at consoles and characters. There's comedy episodes, game reviews. Last week, it was Expansion Pass 224, and we decided to have some fun and talk about some of the funniest games we've ever played. We had so many suggestions suggestions for this episode. I couldn't get to all of them. We're probably going to do a part 2 at some point down the road. But as is becoming tradition, here is a sneak peek of last week's episode of Expansion Pass, the funniest games we've ever played. Fuck those games. I will sit here right now and just say, the rest of the games on this list are funny, but for my bones, the 2 South Park RPGs are the 2 funniest video games I've ever played in my fucking life. Oh my God. Dude, when you fight that giant, I can't remember if it's a Nazi aborted baby fetus or whatever the fuck. No fucks to give in the world of South Park. It's insane. Smell the Glove said, South Park Stick of Truth killed me. The Finding Jesus side mission, going up to 8-bit Canada, giving Randy an abortion, etc. It felt like living inside a whole season of South Park. It is a classic. Oh, buddy, I have to shout out what they did to Canada. I'm sorry I'm spoiling so much, but in the Stick of Truth, there's like this whole side part where you end up in Canada. And it looks like Dragon Warrior. It's top down. They shift to like this 8-bit thing. And you go from like Ottawa to Winnipeg to Vancouver in a matter of like 2 minutes each. And the Prince of Canada is there. And we all talk like this. And they've got the, hey buddy, with like the opening Terrence and Phillips heads. And oh man. As a Canadian, when they went up to Canada, I lost my fucking mind. That's now available in our archives. And this week for Expansion Pass 225, here's what I decided. Okay, I'm playing Vector Man to get ready for we might actually cover Vector Man next week, to be honest with you. I've been playing Vector Man to get ready for a future episode of Remember the Game. I've played quite a bit of Sega Genesis since I started to Remember the Game over 6 years ago. And now that I've got some playthroughs under my belt, I think I'm ready to form a list and count down my 10 favorite Sega Genesis games. Now, I think this will be a list I update once every couple of years or so as I play more Genesis games. But tomorrow I'm going to lock in my 10 favorites as of August of 2024. So come back tomorrow if you want to listen to that. Again, Patreon subscriptions start at $3 a month. You get new shows every week, instant access to over 650 archived ad-free bonus podcasts. Plus, you can join our Discord, you can vote in our polls, you can write into the show, you get DM with me, and you even get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm about to do to at least one of these people. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons, Spazkachthulu, or Kyle. I'm going with Kyle. Dirty D Music, The Real G-Man Dan, Rob Bridgewater, Brian, Jonathan Rose, and Rillin Lundy. Thank you all so much for the support. Welcome to Remember the Game Industries, patreon.com/Remember the Game. We donate 5% of it to charity, and we offer annual subscriptions that'll save you a month's fees. And don't forget, I'm over on Twitch when I have time, twitch.tv/Remember the Game. Usually just yelling at old games. Come by and say hi. It's good shit. That's it. I'm blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Evan Azzo, who said, hey, Blancarino, podcast question for you. I read a recent CBC article about Apple wanting a bigger cut of the pie when it comes to Patreon revenue. Is that looking like it'll affect you? Yes, it's something I'm going to start addressing closer to November when it kicks in. But as of, I can't remember if it's the beginning or end of November. I'll figure it out. We have lots of time. Anyone that signs up on Patreon, not just for me, but for anybody, through the Apple Patreon app, the Apple is going to take 30%. So the Patreon can either give up, like whoever you're supporting, can either give up 30% of their income or do what most Patreon creators are going to do and raise the price by 30% on Apple. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. I think it's horseshit, but they're saying it'll only be for new subscribers. Anyone that's signed up before November won't be grandfathered in. But just if you want to sign up for Patreon beginning in November, I highly recommend. Doesn't matter if it's for me or someone I hate or someone I like, it doesn't matter. If you're going to sign up for somebody on Patreon, don't do it through the Apple app because Apple is ass and they're going to take 30% of it. And some of us creators, we need that 30%. I charge $5 or $3. My cheapest one is $3. 30% of $3 is $1. 30% of $5, it's fucking $1.50. That's like a third of the Patreon creators, the creators' income that Apple has taken. Yeah, because they really need that new ivory back scratcher. Fucking Apple. So anyway, don't sign up through there, but sign up, support us. Just don't do it through fucking Apple. So that's what's gonna happen. It's not till November. You got lots of time, and I'll make sure I put out a blurb and warn everybody before Apple starts pulling their shenanigans. Real Vault Life Boy 111, said, what's the coolest thing you've ever built in Minecraft? Mine was a castle I built while I was on a server with some friends. Yes, if you don't know, I'm actually a recovering Minecraft addict. I don't play it much anymore, but I was, oh God, that game took over my fucking life for some time. I was never particularly good at creating like the really fancy shit, but easily my biggest creation was, I wonder if I still have it on my PlayStation, because I did it on my PS4. I built this massive castle on top of a mountain. The fucking thing went up into like the stars. It went so high. And I dug deep down into the mountain and built like a basement and like a little man cave. And then it had an escape tunnel that I could use to go down and through. And then it went into a glass chamber that was in underwater. And then there was a ladder to climb out of the glass chamber. And then I was on an island a little ways away from my mountain castle. It was great times. I used to just sit there and I would just put on a podcast or like watch a hockey game and just chip away at building. I was so proud of that fucking castle. I felt like a little kid that built something out of Lego, and every time I tried to show Shaylee, she just didn't fucking care. But I built a castle that you'd be proud of. That's about it. And then I always restart, and I build a hole in the dirt and put a bed in it, and then eventually a spider eats me, and then I give up. But good times with that castle. Dylan Ware said, this is my first time blowing in the cartridge. I'll believe you. What are your 3 favorite bands? I know you're a big Blink fan and an Offspring fan. My top 3 are Billy Talent, Sum 41, and A Day to Remember. Blink's my favorite band. I have a Blink 182 tattoo. I love Blink. Offspring has always been a very close and beloved second. The third changes based on my mood. But if you would consider the Beastie Boys a band, then the Beastie Boys. If they're not considered a band, then I would probably say Limp Bizkit. But I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan. There are days where I would put the Beastie Boys ahead of Offspring. I like the Beastie Boys so much. I miss the Beastie Boys. Justin said, sir, sadly you're trapped on an island for the rest of your life, but you get to choose one console and its entire game library to spend the rest of your days with. What do you choose? The NES, the Sega Genesis, the Nintendo 64, or the Sega Saturn? That is easy. I'll take the NES, and I'll explain why. The Saturn, everybody knows, no. Genesis, Okay, so the Nintendo 64, no, because unless I've got other people to play it with, the best Nintendo 64 experiences are multiplayer. So that eliminates the Saturn and the 64. I contemplated going with the Genesis, because there's a lot of games on the Genesis that I haven't played yet, and I'd like to. But the thing is, like, if I have the entire NES catalog, first of all, the NES will literally never break, so that thing will work forever. And second of all, there's so many NES games that I love that are just tough, and I just need to play them over and over and over and over again, like I'm doing with Batman right now, to get good enough to beat them. So if I was just trapped on that island forever, that's what I would do. I'd scavenge for food for a couple hours, and then I'd spend the rest of the day grinding tough NES games, so that when I eventually decided to build a raft out of the NES cartridges and be safe, I could make a living on YouTube showing people how good I am at the NES games that nobody else can beat. It's just wins all around. Plus, if I have the entire catalog, I have a gold Nintendo World Championships. So when I do build that raft, I'll save that one in my gray Nintendo World Championships and some stuff like Panic Restaurant and Little Samson, and then I'll just retire when I get back to the mainland. Plus, I could write a book about my time playing NES on the island. We'll call it NES Island. Adventure Island. We'll call it Adventure Island. That's never been done. Spirit Gun said, hey, Mr. Blank, I know you said you were a fan of Overwatch for a while. I used to love me some Overwatch. I suppose it was always pretty toxic, but as the years went on, I found myself playing amongst one of the most toxic gaming communities I'd ever encountered. My question to you is, how do you feel about hackers, throwers, and smurfs? The term hacker is pretty self-explanatory. Throwers are people that intentionally lose matches in order to derank their account so that they can then smurf, which is playing at a level far below your actual skill level so you can stomp on noobs, essentially ruin the experience for them or low-level players. It's an infuriating thing, especially when you're quite fond of the game. It just feels like they are literally stealing joy from others. Thoughts? Yeah, I think they're all idiots. I think people, dude, anyone that cheats, I'm assuming that's like what like hackers could be tossed in there. Anyone that uses like auto aim mods and shit and cheats at an online game, like you're such a, what the fuck? Like go outside And I hate to say that because I don't like to go outside. I love sitting inside playing video games. But people that cheat in video games are fucking losers. And then the smurfing and throwing thing. Like, if you really need to feel better about yourself playing video games, just invite like a kid over. Every once in a while, I'll just like shit kick one of my nieces or nephews at Mario Kart or something, and it just makes me feel better about myself. Just fucking do that. To be honest with you, I think they're all losers, but that's why I don't really play online very much. Overwatch was a very rare exception. It's incredibly rare that I sink my teeth into a competitive online game because I don't want to deal with the toxicity and the racist comments and the smurf throwing and the hackers and all that other shit. I like to just stay in my lane, leave me alone, and let me play games by myself. So it's very rare I play online. And to be fair, I never really had a bad experience in Overwatch. Overwatch was always pretty nice to me. I was very good. So maybe that's why. But by and large, I just don't play games online. I can't be. Too many people are garbage. And I don't want to deal with garbage. This show is garbage. I don't need any more garbage in my life. Adam, it's your turn. Said, I have to mention, I love the It's Letter Time jingle throwback. Nick from Video and Arcade Top 10 would be proud. I think I asked, but I'm asking again. Have you heard or talked about Ultra Pro Wrestling? So quick record, yes. If you don't know, It's Letter Time is a tribute to a Canadian video game show from the 90s, Video and Arcade Top 10. If you want to listen to it, somewhere in the 100s, I actually interviewed Nicholas Pickles, the original host of Video and Arcade Top 10, which is one of the reasons this show exists, because I used to love Video and Arcade when I was a kid growing up. As far as Ultra Pro Wrestling, I wasn't uber aware of it until in the last couple of months. A few listeners have pointed it out to me. It's like an upcoming wrestling game that kind of looks like it could be the spiritual successor to No Mercy that Kenny Omega tried to make AEW Fight Forever sound like, that it fucking wasn't. Ugh. I'm definitely intrigued by it. I'm hoping it plays well on the steamer, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Ultra Pro Wrestling. I'm definitely intrigued by it for sure. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious said, what would you consider the worst named consoles of all time? My personal top 3 are the Wii U, the Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X and S. I will agree that I think the Wii U is the worst name in the history of video game consoles. I'll also agree that the Xbox One is the second worst name in the history of consoles because it was the third fucking Xbox. But hot take, and some of you aren't going to be surprised by this because I hate that thing to begin with. I'm actually going to say the Wii. I hate that name. I hate that. Dolphin was such a great name. Wii is stupid. I think it's a dumb name, and I don't like it. But Wii U and Xbox One are like miles ahead of anything else for the worst console names. I will say shout out to PlayStation. They're doing it right. PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. Keep it going. That's makes sense. Everybody understands it. Rolls off the tongue. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to see what Nintendo names this next thing. I'm really hoping it's Super Switch, but I don't think they're going to go that way because they're worried about the confusion like they had with the Wii and the Wii U. So I'm sure it's going to be like the fucking Nintendo asterisk or fucking something like that. If they name it that, I called it August 20th. And finally, before we move on, it is in fact letter time. It's letter time. The real G-Man Dan said, all hail the hot dog king. First time blower, legitimately, but I've been listening to Remember the Game on repeat and finally decided to pay you for your hard work. Thank you. Seriously though, been listening for a while and it makes my 4+ mile runs go by much faster. You had to sneak that in just to brag about your ability to run, you fucking. Simple question. Do you have all of your consoles hooked up to one TV? I have quite a few consoles, and as much as I'd like to have them all set up, I just don't have that many ports. What is your setup like? Thanks for the laughs and shots of nostalgia. Keep up the awesome work. Well, thank you, G-Man. I do have most of my... So I get asked stuff like this semi-regularly. How's my setup work? Down in my living room, I have a PS5, I have an Xbox Series S, and I have my Nintendo Switch dock. Quick and painless. And then we've got one of those 5 HDMI splitters. So 5 HDMIs in, 1 HDMI out to the television. So I have my 3 consoles, and then we've got our Roku and just the Shaw cable box downstairs. But up here in my office, I've got a PS5, an Xbox Series X, a different Nintendo Switch dock. And so those 3, so I've got another one of those 5 HDMI splitters up here. So 5 HDMIs in and 1 out. I'm going to get a bigger one, I think, when we move in a couple of weeks. But right now in my 5 HDMI splitter, I've got my PS5, my Xbox Series X, and my Nintendo Switch in 3 of them. And then the 4th slot I have for my mini consoles, my NES, my Super Nintendo, my Genesis, and my PlayStation Classic. And all I do is I just keep the HDMI and power cables for them on my desk. And then I just unplug whatever console I'm Like if my NES is hooked up there right now, if I want to play my Super Nintendo Classic, I unhook my NES Classic and just put my Super Nintendo in because they all share the same cords. So that's pretty easy. And then on the 5th input, I actually just recently picked up this awesome, I don't know what it's called, video audio switch. And it's got 8 of those red, white, yellow. I don't know what those are called, AV cables, like the classic consoles. I have 8 of those going into that thing and then 1 HDMI out. And so then that goes to my splitter as the 5th option. And so into that, I've got like my NES, my Super Nintendo, my Nintendo 64, my PS2, my GameCube, I just packed everything up, so I don't remember everything. But most of my classic consoles are hooked up that way. And then I still have a modded Xbox and a PlayStation 3, and I have their a backwards compatible PlayStation 3. And I only have 5 HDMI inputs, so I have their 2 HDMI cables sitting there ready to go, and I can plug them into my splitter if I need to use them. And then that splitter has 1 HDMI out. That HDMI out goes into my capture card, which is on my PC, and then that capture card goes out to my gaming monitor. And that way I can capture, stream, or whatever the fuck I want. So that's how I have everything set up, and then I just have a couple power bars with everything plugged in. But when we move, I am going to order a 10 HDMI input switch, I think, and just have all my consoles into it as once. So if you've got lots of consoles to hook up and you can't figure out how, I highly recommend looking up these splitters. They're not super expensive. And again, and I'm sure a lot of you knew this and I just look like a dumbass for not knowing it. I didn't even know they made AV cable splitters until about a month ago when I found this one. It has been one of the best purchases I've ever made. So 8 different classic consoles can go into it, and then it's just one simple HDMI out. Makes things uber simple, so much easier. And then I just put a little post-it note on top that tells me like number 1 is my NES, number 2 is my Genesis, so on and so forth. So that's how I keep everything hooked up. Is it the best system? Probably not, but I'm not the best at anything, so eat me. Thank you so much, everybody that wrote in and everything. As always, I appreciate all of you. We need to keep the ball rolling, so let's switch things up and get to our smash hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries Play 1, Remake 1, Erase 1. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. You all know it. Every week I give our Patreons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. As always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get there in just a minute. And this week, since we're talking partners in time on the Nintendo DS, I went with 3 of the highest rated Nintendo DS games from Metacritic. And those are Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, Pokemon Black and White, and The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. And I was a little bit worried how GTA was going to stack up against Pokemon and Zelda, and I was right to worry because a whopping 46% of you said you'd play Pokemon, remake Zelda, and erase Grand Theft Auto. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer is. Jonathan Rose said, play Grand Theft Auto. The DS touchscreen to rob cars was a fun addition. I didn't know that was a thing. I've never played any of these games, so that actually sounds awesome. Remake Zelda and get rid of the DS touchscreen nonsense and make it into a Switch/Link's Awakening style, and it'll look amazing. And then erase Pokemon because, damn it, there are 100 others. No one is going to miss this one. Now, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think you can make that argument for Grand Theft Auto and Zelda. Maybe not Grand Theft Auto, definitely Zelda as well. But I hear that. Fair enough. There are a lot of Pokemon, so it's just one less Pokemon. Captain NT75 said, I'll play Pokemon because I prefer playing those games in their original states anyways. I'll remake Phantom Hourglass because I think it would improve with a few modern touches, and I'll erase Grand Theft Auto because the mainline games are good for me. I don't need a remake of this one. And at the end of the day, I didn't play it, but at the end of the day, as long as you got Grand Theft Auto 5, you're probably good, right? Right, yeah. Valzoa, Lord of Thunder, said, I'll play Phantom Hourglass since I have it on my to-do list anyways. I'll give Pokemon Black and White a remake in the style of Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, although I do think the originals are great as they are. And I'll erase Grand Theft Auto, which sucks because I don't like erasing games I've never tried, but rules are rules. You're fucking right they are. Without rules, we have Pandemonium and Lords of Thunder running around causing anarchy. So, agreed. Thank you for playing by said rules. Sonar Music said, I'll play Chinatown Wars because I haven't. I'm curious what a DS Grand Theft Auto game is like. I'll remake Phantom Hourglass with better graphics and controls, and I'll erase Pokemon Black and White because I'm not as big of a Pokemon fan as I used to be. I'm actually there too. I'm burned out. Like, I've never been the world's biggest Pokemon fan, but like a new Pokemon every year, it's too much. People that make too much stuff, like 5 podcasts a week, all you're gonna do is just water down the barrel, and it's too much. It's too much. Idiots. And Deli16 said, I'll play Pokemon. I've been replaying the OG Red recently, and they don't need to be changed. I'll remake Zelda because it needs a little sprucing up, and I'll erase Grand Theft Auto because I don't need it on my Game Boy. I could go all like, oh, well, technically this is the DS and not the Game Boy, but I genuinely understand what you're saying, Deli. I'm actually going to go with the majority of you this week. The 46%, I hate to be that guy, but I want to run with the cool kids. I'm going to do the same thing, as did Mouth My Farts with Phillip, who said the Pokemon games are always great, so I'll play them. I remember Phantom Hourglass being fun at the time, but it can use some modern touches to make it more fun, so we'll remake it. And Grand Theft Auto is there. If I'm going to play Grand Theft Auto, I'd rather do it on my Xbox, but if I really need it to be portable, then I'll play the trilogy on my Switch. Chinatown Wars just isn't necessary today. It's actually fairly sound logic, too. I'm going the same order, my friends. I'm going to play Pokemon Black and White because I don't hate Pokemon. I'm a little burned out, but I don't hate them, and I've never played Pokemon Black and White, so I feel like I need to. I got to remake Phantom Hourglass and just put it on modern consoles somehow. That's all I'm going to do. I just get it all on the fucking modern. Just release the Zelda collection and just make it easy for all of us, please. And I'm going to race Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars because I'm not the world's biggest Grand Theft Auto fan. And if I play another Grand Theft Auto game, it's going to be 5 or the upcoming 6. I'm not digging out Chinatown Wars. I'm sorry. The idea of robbing people with the touchscreen does sound awesome, but not enough to get me to play this fucking game. Thank you, everybody that wrote in and played along. As always, of course, I appreciate all of you. What have I been playing over the last 7 days? I've been playing a lot of video games. Basically, if I've got spare time right now, I'm playing video games to try to keep up with the podcast. I'm working on a playthrough of X-Men Legends on the PS2. We're going to cover that in September. I'm working on a playthrough of Vector Man for the Sega Genesis. We're going to cover that in about 7 days. I'm still working on a playthrough of Mass Effect 3. That game is glorious. We're hoping to cover that one in September. And then when I don't feel like playing old stuff, I'm playing Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown or The Last of Us Part 2. Persia Lost Crown is because it's good. Last of Us Part 2 is because I haven't played it so long. But I really have been trying to focus on playing retro games for the show. So, I just haven't had a lot of... there's so many... I still want to go to Stellar Blade. I still want to play Cult of the Lamb. There's so many modern games I want to play. And I feel like I don't have time because I'm working on the retro stuff. But that is what it is. I love playing retro games. And honestly, Vector Man, X-Men Legends, and Mass Effect 3, all going to get good reviews. I love all 3 of those games. I've played all 3 of them in the past. I'm replaying all 3 to get ready for the show. And they're all excellent. Mass Effect 3 in particular is just... God, it's so good. I got into a debate with people on Twitter the other day about Garrus because I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I just said, well, he may not be the coolest character in the franchise. No character makes me as excited to come across when I'm playing as Garrus. And I had a lot of people reach out and be like, no, he is the coolest. And so I was like, oh, all right. Like, I think he's very cool. I just didn't think people thought he was cool compared to like Jack and Rex and shit, but maybe he is cool. I don't know. Anyways, we'll get into that later. Okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to pause here. We're going to let a sponsor peddle their wares. I'm going to rehydrate because I'm thirsty. This is my second podcast of the day. And when we get back, it's all Mario Luigi Partners in Time. Okay, we'll be right back after these messages. Or one message. It's just one message. Unless I sold out and added more, but probably just one message. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have 2 goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention. But when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. At least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. All right, let's get into Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. As always, I like to let the Patreon sound off on the game we're covering before my guest and I hog the microphone. We got a lot of comments this week, mostly praise, as I expected it to be. Adolfo Fernandez Martinez, I love that name, said this is by far one of the weakest entries in the Mario and Luigi franchise, only topped by Paper Jam. Such a bummer because the next game is the absolute best of the series, which is Bowser's Inside Story. This one is very slow and very uninteresting. See, that is ironically very interesting to me, Adolfo, because A, a lot of people wrote in saying they love this game, and B, granted, I haven't played Bowser's Inside Story in about 15 years, but as someone who gets, like, Bowser is my favorite video game character, period. I don't remember liking Bowser. I felt Bowser's Inside Story was too slow. I haven't played it in, like, don't yell at me. I haven't played in like 15 years. I need to give it another playthrough for the show eventually. But that was why I haven't played a Mario and Luigi since then, because I played Bowser's Inside Story, and I know I'm in the minority, but I didn't particularly like it. Whereas I really enjoyed this. So maybe I need to go back and play Bowser's Inside Story again. Fascinating. Cal C said, this is by far my favorite Mario game. It gave us the baby characters and had a combat system that worked perfectly. Truly just fun. I mean, I'm usually anti-Baby Mario and Luigi, like in Mario Kart and stuff, but it made sense they showed up in this one, so I was okay with them here. Rudolphin said this down to this game and Pokemon Pearl for my favorite DS game, period. This brings me straight back to being 10 years old and hiding the DS under my pillow to not get caught and playing it until I couldn't keep my eyes open. Cleverly using all 4 buttons for timing brought it to the next level from Superstar Saga with a decent story to keep up with great gameplay. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but I was a huge fan of the 4-button attack system. 100% Rudolphin. We're on the same page there. Dylan Ware said, I absolutely love this game. I got it for Christmas and played it for hours that day. This is probably my favorite DS game. The music is great, the fighting is fun, and the art style is on point. I agree with all of that. And Lord Blackheart said, I truly enjoy this game. I got stuck toward the ends and then realized what I needed to do, but I can't get past that huge mushroom creature with spaceships above the screen. Buddy, I will say that is my one criticism of this game. The last hour of this game, which is basically just boss fights, can lick my sweaty ass. I liked this game up until then. I fucking hated that last hour. Oh my God, it made me so angry. And it's time to talk about it. I'm going to cue up some Mario and Luigi Partners in Time music. And when it stops, assuming we got the recording done, Keegs and I are going to talk about Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, which are originally released, easy for me to say, in North America on the Nintendo DS on November 28th, 2005. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. Okay, so I was just saying before I hit record that this is actually my third recording session in 7 hours. And so I was like, I feel like Partners in Time is going to get a bit of a slag review just because I'm like, I don't feel like podcasting anymore today. This game's a 6. We're fucking done. But I'm gonna show it some love. It's a good game. I spent 20 hours playing it. I can afford to spend 45 minutes talking about it. And joining me this week via the blank phone to talk about Partners in Time is my partner in crime. Worst segue ever, Keegs. I don't even deserve any credit for calling that like clever. That was hacky. That was
Aw.
shit. That
Aw,
was
you call me
garbage.
your partner in crime.
I know, but like as I said it, I was like, if I said this on stage, I would boo me. That was hacky as fuck. That was
Oh, yeah,
trash.
but still, it made
Trash.
me feel warm in my heart, so I
Good.
can't I can't rag on you for that.
Well, you know what else makes you feel warm in your heart is Mario and Luigi games. These
Oh, yeah.
charming, this charming little franchise. These Mario and Luigi games.
Yeah,
Um,
I gotta say, like, this game isn't my favorite in the series, but this is probably one of my favorite RPG series, just total.
yeah,
Like,
and
as a whole,
I wanted to
all of
start
them.
there because I talked about the ones I've played during the infamous intro. I've played like not counting the remakes and remasters and re-release. There's 5 like not like original games with the 6th one
Mhm.
coming this year. How many of them
Oh,
have you played?
don't get me started on that one. I've played all of them,
Okay,
and both the remakes.
okay. So then,
Yeah.
and I know I'm putting you on the spot because I don't know about you. Like I've played 3 of them, and they do kind of bleed together for me. But I also haven't played one in about 15 years.
Yeah.
This one I quite enjoy. I liked hot take because everyone says Bowser's Inside Story was the best one. I liked this one better than Bowser's Inside Story.
Yeah, they're for me they're kind of like I don't know if they're the best, if Bowser's is the best in the series. It might be. I haven't played like some of the like I haven't played all of them close enough together in
Yeah,
so long because just how far apart the release schedule was for them. But yeah, like I think they both got positives and negatives on where I think each game uh is like is stronger than the other one in
sure.
some
I
ways. That was
like
I was so good at words.
Yeah, you nailed it. That was great. This is good. Like, and now our downloads just dropped like 30%. People stopped listening. It's a good game. Like Mario Luigi Partners in Time. I bought a physical copy. I spent like $70 or so. I don't remember what it wasn't cheap. Like it wasn't like a
Yeah.
$10 game.
Mhm.
But I bought a physical copy. I beat it. I played through the whole thing. Took me about 18 or 19 hours. And like, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Honestly, for about 3/4 of the game, I really liked it. The one thing, and I'm like this with a ton of RPGs. So I want to know, because you like RPGs more than me and you
Mhm.
play more of them than me. I want to know if you feel this way or not. My one criticism of Partners in Time was by about my 13 or 14 hour mark, I was like, this has been very charming and a cute game, and I like a lot of it, but I think I'm done. Like I beat it, but I was like, I'm ready for this to end now.
Yeah, I'm getting the same way. Like when you asked me to do the episode, I was like, "Fuck, I haven't played that one since it came out." Let's like I played the rest of the series at least 1.5 ish
Sure.
times.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, well let's give another playthrough." And I'm about halfway, and I'm feeling that same kind of burnout. Like I was really liking it, but it's just kind of like I don't. It's not that it's getting bad or boring or something. It's just like it's I've had enough.
Well, I know for myself, like, because the game, like, and we're gonna get into the details of the game. I already explained in the intro. Uh, Half the game is RPG combat, half the game is kind of puzzles and kind of platforming, puzzles, exploration, stuff like that. And
Mm,
like, I really like it while you're constantly picking up new moves for the new characters and then finding new puzzles to solve. And then I found in the last 3 or 4 hours, they're just like, I was like, well, I feel like I have all the, like, now we're just repeating the same puzzles
yeah.
and making them like there was nothing new added. And so now I felt like I've already done this. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
it's a yeah, it's just kind of maybe the game's too long, maybe I don't know,
I felt
which
that
feels
way.
weird to say about an RPG, right?
No, that's
Like
why I hate them because I
especially
feel like they're all too
yeah,
fucking long. But I did feel like this one overstayed its welcome, and I felt,
yeah,
and I'm not. Listen, for all of you that love this game, it's going to get a good score. I really like it. There's only a couple of things I don't like, and I want to just get them out of the way so I can dive into the good. I just feel like that last 3 or 4 hours, I'm like, I'm just doing the same thing but longer. And I gotta say, man,
mhm.
near the end, you're in this like, I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember what it is. It's like a castle or something,
Yeah,
and you need
Peach's
to like,
Castle, right?
yeah, I guess. and you need to like
Yeah.
find all these rocket ships and make them like line up and shoot each other and shit. And
Oh yeah.
some of the enemies you need to fight in there, the fights are just so fucking repetitive because they keep those fucking blocks keep calling more fucking blocks, and the fights just keep going and going. And I'm trying to avoid the enemies at this point because I'm like, I don't feel like fucking with you anymore, but I can't avoid them. So then I have to go through the same fight and the same fight. And it literally was the first time in about 15 hours that I was like, I'm done with this, you know, and I'm glad it ended shortly afterwards because like 5 more hours and I think I would have started to turn on it.
Yeah.
Like it was just enough. It was like having a big plate of food and that last 20% of the plate, I'm like, I'm going to finish this, but I know I'm full. That was how I felt. Just overstayed its
Okay,
welcome
yeah.
a bit.
Yeah, I don't remember much of the final dungeon, but yeah, I'm just kind of there right now. I'm fighting same thing, these block enemies that just keep summoning more
Oh,
of themselves.
they're the
Like it's
worst.
wild that like yeah, both of us are same enemy but different spots in the fucking game.
Those
But yeah,
those
that's where I'm at
fucking
right now.
blocks.
These block box enemies down in the volcano that
Yeah.
just you kill like I can't seem to find like there's no way to kill them better to make them not it's just like yep, like I had one turn last night when I was playing that it like I think like 5 times in a row they kept
Yeah, and it's
calling more and more. I'm like, okay, well, I guess at this point now that I've wasted 15 minutes on this battle, I guess now I'll use my bros items because I just
yeah,
don't like burning them on normal enemies, which I
exactly.
mean, I guess I should considering how much I have of every single one of them.
Okay,
I,
see now that's exactly how I felt. Like I've said this on the show, fuck, probably on every RPG episode we've ever done. I'm that meme where
mm,
Captain America's looking at the camera and he's like, "So you finished the game and you still have all these items you didn't use." Like that is me to a
Yeah,
T.
that's same. But
But
like the thing with these Mario and Luigi games, they're like even all the way back to Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, like and Paper Mario, they're very much use your fucking items the whole
yeah,
game. The whole game, they really want you to always be using your items.
but then, and this is my one this like the thing where I said I thought the game maybe overstayed its welcome a little bit, like when we score it, that's not going to cost it any points. That was just personal
Mhm.
preference. I was done. I will say the final boss is going to cost us some points because when you get to the very end of the game, and I know we're skipping ahead, we'll go back and cover the rest of the game. When you get to the very end of the game, you have to fight 2 bosses back to back. And
Yeah.
like it's basically like the Princess Shroob or whatever the fuck, and then her sister, and you don't get to save in between. But the final boss fight is this giant, weird looking alien Princess Shrew beast fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I had tons of items. And I'm like, well, now's the time. This is the final boss. Let's open the
Mhm.
fucking floodgates. And I was texting with you. I fought that boss for 45 minutes and I used half the items I had left. And I kept hitting the enemy for like 1, 2, 3 HP. And I just assumed that it was like, oh, well, this boss just has a ton of defense and like we're just going to grind it down. Maybe that makes me like an idiot. But then I was reading online that a lot of other people had this problem too. To beat the final boss, and it doesn't tell you this anywhere, you need to attack its tentacles underneath it because you can attack its arms, its legs, or its head, or the crown on its
Mhm.
head. You have to attack its legs till you take its legs out, then it falls down. Then you have to attack its crown till the crown goes gray. Then you can hit it on the head and hurt it. But then after you hit it on the head and hurt it a few times, its crown lights back up and its legs come back and it stands up. And then you have to start the whole thing over. But I had absolutely no idea. And I wasted
Yeah.
all of my best bro items hitting it, not realizing I wasn't hurting it very much. So then I had
Yeah.
to just grind out this fight slowly, like, healing every 3 fucking turns. And that fight went for about 90 minutes.
Ooh.
And I was like, I remember texting you. At one point, I closed my DS and put it to sleep. And I was like, if I die on this fight, I'm rage quitting this fucking game. And I think the problem was just after the last 4 or 5 hours of grinding through those last couple of levels and those last couple areas that I didn't particularly enjoy. And then this fucking boss fight from hell that maybe I fucked up, but I looked online. I'm far from the only one that fucked it up.
No,
It's the one complaint everybody online sees to have about this game is that final boss fight.
yeah,
Is
especially for and you know less so much for when this game first came out, but especially now with the 2 remakes and 3 other games in the series behind it, the games are pretty good at giving you the tells for what you need to do in a boss fight. Like if
Yeah.
there's going to be a puzzle behind the boss fight, even throughout this game itself, it does a pretty good job at like, hey, if there's something else you got to do instead of just wail on the boss, like they give you a pretty good idea of it. And yeah, that's not well designed,
No.
especially for the fucking HP sponge she is. Like, I got the guidebook in front of me here, and yeah, 2500 HP for the first form, and then 3000 for the second form, and then she transforms into the tentacle thing and
Yeah.
regains that 3000, and then each of her extra pieces on her have like several hundreds of HP.
And
Like,
then
holy fuck.
and nothing like and what really threw me off was that the crown that you have to hit till it goes gray, because I guess once it goes gray it's like deactivated and then you can land on her head and hurt her. You can barely see it because it's right at the top of the bottom screen.
Yeah,
And so
I actually
even
got
when
a
I'm hitting her
screenshot that looks
feet,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
even when
you
I'm hitting
barely
her
see
feet,
the crown.
like I'm hitting her feet and I'm assuming all I'm doing is stopping her from doing her swinging her tentacles attack. But it
Mm.
turns like, no, you have to do that to knock her down. Like, I was like, I don't know. Maybe you don't have to know. I don't know. I really, for a game that I thought was so well, because like, let's be honest, the Mario and Luigi games aren't known for their fucking Dark Souls difficulty. Like, these aren't
Yeah.
the hardest games in the world. I
Yeah, they're
really did
usually
feel there was a
pretty
frustrating
easy.
difficulty spike at the end, and that boss fight can kiss my ass. It was terrible.
Yeah,
Terrible.
like I don't remember the Superstar Saga boss or even Bowser's Inside Story. Like, those final bosses weren't like nightmares like this.
No, it took it was, again, good game. It's going to get a good score. I enjoyed it. No regrets about buying it or playing it, but that final boss. And then, and
Maybe
I'm
it's
sorry,
just the
but like,
sequel curse, because like a lot of sequels do that, where they kind of like flub on certain things, or like the final boss. Mario's done it already. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, that final boss, that's a shitty final boss
sure.
fight.
Yeah. And then after you beat this fucking, so like you spend the whole game dealing with the shroobs and trying to figure out the mystery of these shroobs.
Yeah.
You beat this Princess Shroob, and then you go back to Princess's castle in the modern times, and then you just have this like quick fight with Bowser, which just seems
Yep.
so out of place. And I was reading online, somebody theorized there was apparently a rumor floating around back then that Nintendo told them the final boss of the game had to be a fight with Bowser,
Oh yeah.
which I would believe, but it didn't even bother me because I was so mad about the stupid Princess Alien 90-minute war that I was like, I'll happily beat on Bowser for 3 minutes. I could use a break, quite frankly. But fuck me. I don't have a lot of other criticisms other than that. I'd like to get to the do you have anything that you really dislike about this game? I just thought it went too long and the final boss was stupid.
Just kind of in with like Princess Shroob. I just found the Shroobs and just kind of the story in general not to be bad, but just kind of meh.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I like that's kind of what stopped me now. Like, the gameplay was really carrying it, and oh, the music. But
Music's great.
like that's but yeah, like it's just I don't feel a drive story wise right now in the volcano, like to keep going. Like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It just feels meh.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if you haven't played it, it should be told, like, I only have followed the plot to begin with, but like basically there's like I do like that Professor Egad from Luigi's Mansion fame
Yeah.
keeps showing up, and like he's there and he's got a time
Yeah,
machine, and
he's there in like the whole series because he's always hooking you up with gadgets.
I love that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah,
And
that's what I'll say. The game's always funny. Just
the game's
the
great.
overarching story for me
Yeah.
just was kind of meh.
Yeah, like the writing is fire. Like Princess
Yeah.
Peach goes back in time in this time machine that Egad invented, and then doesn't come back. So then Mario and Luigi go back in time, like looking for her, and you end up finding baby versions of Mario, Luigi, and Peach. But then you also find these shroobs, these purple alien mushroom creatures. And then you're trying to collect these. It's honestly kind of all over the map. You're trying to collect these crystal shards that make a crystal star, and you're not sure what they're gonna like. If
You
they're to
think
stop
it's gonna
the
save the world.
aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna save you from the
It implies
aliens.
that.
Yeah, because you go off of a drawing that some guy made while he was really scared, and for most of the game, the drawing is covered in mud that they won't wipe off the fucking drawing.
That drove me crazy. So this drawing,
Jesus,
this drawing shows Princess Peach from the back, and she's like holding up this crystal star you're looking for the pieces of, and then it shows like an alien Princess Shroob like yelling at the star or
Yeah,
whatever the
it
fuck.
looks like they're fighting, and that
Yeah.
Peach is using the star to beat her.
And I thought that the picture had like faded away. And then near the end of the game, they're like, use your stylus on the bottom screen to wipe the mud off the picture. And I'm like, why did nobody suggest this 10 hours ago? Because it turns out the
Yeah,
star is helping the fucking Princess
yeah.
Tubes. But why? Like, why?
Like,
It's so
because
stupid.
because they had to use it as like and like replaying it, like I don't really remember the story, but as soon as I saw that drawing again, I was like, oh yeah, right, the 20th minute MacGuffin, as you put
Yeah.
it so eloquently a couple weeks ago.
Ugh.
Right at the 20th minute.
Like, wait a minute. There's still more space dust on here. It was so dumb.
Yeah, like wipe the
But
mud
like, it
off.
was fun. Like, I'm not,
Wipe 'em,
again, you're
yeah,
gonna,
make the drawing that was kind of, the centerpiece for your whole drive for the whole story mean literally the opposite of what you needed it to mean.
yeah, yeah.
But
Which, like,
whatever. I mean, it's a Mario and Luigi game. None of them really have fantastic stories, but like I said, this one wasn't bad. It's just kind of meh.
yeah. And honestly, like, I got to go back to the mud on the picture. They didn't even have to put the mud on it. Like, it could have just been a
Mhm.
picture of the back of Princess Peach holding up this crystal star, and then the alien looking Princess Shroob thing screaming, and the whole game, and the guy that drew it's like, I don't really remember what it means. And you would have assumed that it meant Princess is going to use this star to stop the bad guys. And then
Mhm.
at the very end, he could have been like, wait, I remember, the star powers them up. And it would have been like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But instead, it was like, no, we just didn't wipe the mud off. That would have revealed this the whole fucking
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Like just
Like,
have
that's all.
yeah.
Fuck.
He already doesn't remember, so why not? Yeah, why not have him remember instead of this silliness? Like
Now,
it was a little silly even by Mario and Luigi
it
standards.
was. Now, on the flip side, one of the positives I really have to give the story in this game is I have notoriously always, well, not always, I notoriously usually dislike Baby Mario and Baby Luigi. Like when they're playable characters in like Mario Kart and stuff, I'm like, fuck
Notoriously,
off.
usually,
Yes.
I don't know that you've ever said a good word about either of those two little
Well,
fucking
yo,
shit
I was a
rats.
because I caught myself. Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island is a great game, and I've praised
Great
that.
game, but you bitch a lot about Baby Mario.
No, I don't.
Whenever,
I
yeah,
don't go
you
back and
do.
listen. Other people say it, and I'm always like, this crying is not that bad. It's annoying, but it's not that bad. It
Maybe I'm
bothers me that I
misremembering
have to
then.
play as Yoshi and Baby Mario instead of Mario. But that's like the one time where I'm like somewhat kind of okay with like I'm like, all right, at least story wise it makes sense. I have to
Yeah.
say in this instance where Mario and Luigi go back in time and then run into the baby versions of themselves, I was like,
Oh.
that I'm totally okay with. And it
Mhm.
actually, for the first time, the reason these two little diaper wearing dipshits exist makes complete and total sense.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
actually thought it was cool.
Yeah, oh, it was really cool, especially like me remembering back in the day, like when this came out, because it was like the natural evolution of the game too. Like the first game was on the Game Boy Advance, and
Yeah.
now here's the sequel on the DS. The DS has the extra buttons, the extra screen and everything, and the extra Mario Bros. Like it was
Yeah.
just really fucking like cool and innovative
It
at
was
the
a
time.
yeah, a very clever way to double up on like
Mhm.
your combat mechanics and your puzzle solving mechanics
Yeah.
and you will
Espe- oh,
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna
The
say
Canadian stand
two
up.
Canadians,
Sorry,
yeah.
after you.
I was just gonna say you may never hear me say these words again. I actually don't even have a problem with Baby Bowser in this game because it's not the obnoxious Bowser Jr. that
Yeah.
replaced the Koopalings that sucked. It's literally Bowser from in the past.
Yeah, exactly, because they are two different Bowsers, and I do like that they are. He is distinctly young Bowser and not shitty Bowser Jr.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
And I actually really enjoy when the two of
same
them
character
interact with each
model,
other.
but yeah,
What's that?
like I'm pretty sure it's like the same character model sprite, whatever that they use.
It is, yeah. But
But
that it's
yeah,
not
like
him though. It's not that
yeah,
annoying little shit. And I love that like when Bowser Jr. or Baby Bowser, excuse me, Baby Bowser and adult Bowser interact with each other.
hmm
I always find it funny. Like
yeah,
they're like because Bowser, I really think Mario RPG was where the mask came off and they started to turn Bowser into this like likable goof instead of just the
yeah.
villain. and he shines in these types of games.
Oh yeah. Well, and then, as we said, the sequel where like you get to play as him. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I remember rumors at the time when this one got like first announced, just as like a new Mario and Luigi game. There was rumors that like, okay, well, they tested the waters with the last one, and like Bowser was there a lot in the first one, right? And he had amnesia and was like that other. He had the mask on and everything. Like there's a lot more Bowser than just oops, kidnapped the princess again, hurt her. So like everybody's like, man, is Bowser really going to be in the second one? Wasn't, but then he was.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
they've always. I like
love
when
Bowser.
Bowser gets to be an actual character instead of just the cartoonish kidnap the princess villain.
Me too. And you know what I love is even when he is still the cartoonish, like when he's a character, but his character is that he's a cartoonish villain who wants to kidnap the princess.
Mm-hmm.
But like he acknowledges that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah,
For anyone
like
that's ever
Mario
wondered,
RPG, where he's like, "Yeah, we got to go save the princess so I can go fucking kidnap her again."
Yeah,
It's like,
like-
yeah, we do, buddy. I'm here for
that's
it.
the game. Mario RPG is the game that made me a Bowser fan. There's
Mhm.
one scene in Mario RPG where you run into Bowser outside of Booster's tower and he's crying.
Yeah,
And he's like, "Oh, the whole Koopa Troop has left me, and I lost my castle. I miss the good old days where I kidnapped Peach and Mario come to save her, or Toadstool back then,
Yeah.
whatever." And then he turns around and sees Mario, and he's like, "Ah!" And then you see him just like, "Yes. Anyways, I'm off to get my
Yeah.
castle back." And I was like, "That's the guy that I love.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it."
yeah.
So I
Save
genuinely
the world
really
so you can
enjoyed.
take over the world. Like,
Yeah.
is a hilarious trope to me.
I quite enjoyed Baby Bowser in this game. First time I'll ever say those fucking words.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's because it's a different guy, so you're
Exactly.
safe. Nobody can come at you and be like, "Wow, ha, ha, Adam,
yeah.
you said you like Bowser Jr."
No,
It's like, no.
Baby Bowser. Bowser
It's
Jr.
very, very specific. Fuck
Bowser
Bowser
Jr. should fucking be launched into the sun,
Ugh,
but
so
Baby
what? Like,
Bowser is fine.
Bowser Jr. could have been fine if he was also there, but it's the fact that they got rid of all the Koopalings
Exactly.
and that's what we got. All those Koopalings, and that is what we got out of it. Like, if he was just an extra, it would be perfectly fine.
I'd love to know if I could go back in time and like the Koopalings never existed. Like in Mario 3, if you just fought Bowser Jr. 7 times in different ways and then Bowser, I honestly don't think I would hate Bowser Jr. like I do. But
Mhm.
I adore the Koopalings, and for all 7 of them to have been written off for this one shitty Bowser with a magic paintbrush, I'll never
Yeah.
forgive him. I'll never forgive him. I hate him.
Yeah, especially for
Anyways.
me, because my first experience with the Koopalings was Super Mario World, actually. I
Right.
played that before I played Mario 3, so I got to see, like, the juiced up versions
Yeah.
of them, and then they
Fuck.
were gone.
Ah,
I got to see the juiced up versions, got to go back on Mario All-Stars, see where they came from, and then they're just gone.
just fucking makes me choke on my own rage. It fucking makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now that we're like 24 or so minutes into this discussion, if you've never actually played this game, like I said, it's an
Let's talk
RPG.
about what the game is.
Yeah, let's talk about how the actual game works. It's a turn-based RPG, and it basically the game is played in 2 chunks. Either you're in this overworld where you control Mario and Luigi, and then later Baby Mario and Luigi, or you're in combat where you control Mario and Luigi, or later plus Baby Mario and Luigi. And I will say, like, when you're in combat, we'll how are we gonna? You know what? How about this? Because like, I don't want to start breaking down the combat and then put in an ad, and I'm contractually obligated to get them in by the middle of the episode. So let's just do that now. Let's let the sponsor in, and then when we come back, we'll break down how once we're into the second half of the show, we'll actually tell you how to play the game. That's good podcasting right there. We'll
Yeah.
yes,
Make
I'm
you
good at my
wait.
job.
Make you wait till the mid-roll ad.
That's right. It's called a tease in the business. We'll be right back, and then we'll tell you about the game in a minute. Probably. All right, let's actually talk about the fucking game. So let's start with it, because basically it's 2 sections. So we'll start with the combat. Let's start with the combat. If you've never played one of these, it's a lot. It's got some Mario RPG DNA. It's got some Paper Mario DNA. Mario and Luigi are standing off to the left. The enemies are on the right. It's turn-based combat. Mario, for the most part, controls with the A button, and Luigi controls with the B button. And that's not just to select what attack of theirs you want to do, which until you unlock the babies is just jumping or using your items. But it's also how you play defense. And I'll tell you, like, some of the attacks are pretty cool, and we can get into some of those and some of the bro items and stuff. But I really enjoy the way the defense works in this game because they leveled
Mm.
up the timed defense. So, like in Mario RPG, all you do is when an attack is coming at you, you hit the block button, and if you hit it at the right time, you'll block and take less damage. But in this, 3/4, probably more than that, maybe almost every attack in the game can practically be avoided if you're very good.
Mm. Yeah,
It's all
avoided
about
or
watching.
countered.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
countered. It's all about watching your enemies and looking for the little tells they'll give off to let you know what attack they're going to do, and then pressing A and B at the right time to make Mario and Luigi jump to actually avoid the attacks. And like one example is that boss at the end of the game that I hate so much. She will start spinning her tentacles on the ground, and it looks great. And you
Mm.
have to make Mario and Luigi jump over the tentacles, but you can't just mash A and B together. You have to, like, if the tentacles are coming from the top, Mario's higher up than Luigi. You need to push A then B and
Yeah.
rotate it through to dodge their attacks. And I don't know about you, frankly, I found, because one of the reasons I tap out on RPGs is because I get so bored of the combat. When the combat is like this, it keeps me engaged for the entire game. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
I love this combat.
I really that's like for me, it's the perfect middle ground between a normal turn-based RPG and an action RPG because I don't always want an action RPG. And
Sure.
these is just like that nice, perfect middle ground where, yeah, you can't just mash A through the fights. You have to pay a little bit of attention. And so it's always keep like, yeah, every fight, you're just always engaged with it, whether it's like a regular enemy or a boss.
Yeah, and some of the attacks are hella obvious.
Mm.
But then other ones,
They turn green. That means they're attacking Luigi.
exactly. But then some of them toward the end, they get pretty clever. There's one of them toward the end that they were annoying to fight. They're in that area I hate, the rocket ship area. They're like these little flying fluff balls. They kind of look like Kirby, and when they go to attack you, they fly. They'll fly forward, and they'll float between the Mario brothers, and they'll either be higher than them or down on the ground with them. And if they're higher than them, then they're going to swoop down at the first Mario brother and then go over the head of the second one. And then you watch which of their 2 feet they stick forward, and it's either the left foot or the right foot, and that's telling you if they're going to hit Mario or Luigi first. So if they're up high and they point their foot at Mario, then you need to jump with Mario but leave Luigi on the ground. If they're down low and they point their foot at like Luigi, then you need to jump with Luigi, and the characters will leave the back of the screen and then come back in, and then you need to jump over them with Mario. And what's really brilliant is some of the attacks actually go into the top screen.
Oh yeah. Top screen, off screen. Like
yeah.
like you're saying behind the screen, like there's guys that'll turn around and throw a spear off the right side of your screen, and then they'll fly in from the left side and trying to hit the bros in the back. Like it makes use of every part of both of those screens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I really liked that. And like you mentioned, I really like that. And you can't do it with every attack, but with a lot of attacks, you can actually counter them. If you jump at the right time, you'll land on the enemy during the combat, and you'll stop their attack and hurt them. But it's very precise. Like I there were a few enemies where I got pretty good at it, but a vast majority of them, it was just because I actually fucked up and hit the dodge too early, and then happened to land on them.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed that a lot though.
Yeah, I find some of the timing windows on these first couple games are a lot of like, as like an enemy will like disappear and then reappear right by the bros, and then that's exactly when you have to hit the button. And it's a lot of that one where it's not so much watching for the tell, it's like reflex timing, and those ones kind of suck.
Yeah, I did feel there were a few that were kind of cheap.
But for the most part, I mean, they did a pretty good job for however many like 100 enemies or so. You know,
Agreed.
Only a few actually feel cheap.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And then not too long into the game, you come across Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, and then they ride piggyback on Mario and Luigi in combat. And so what's really cool is then they add as Keegs had mentioned, where Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the GBA, you only had the A and B buttons. In this one, you've got the X and Y. And so you would add in 2 more buttons, and now Baby Mario is on Mario's back, and X swings his hammer. There's a voice crack. And Baby Luigi with Y swings his hammer on Luigi. So then it'll show the little icon over your characters to at least let you know what kind of defense you're going to be playing. And it's either A and B to jump with the Mario Brothers, or X and Y to swing the hammers of the Baby Marios. And then it becomes a whole different set of defensive moves. And especially against some of the bosses, where they do some attacks that go after the hammer defense and some attacks that go after the jumping defense. It adds like a whole nother layer to attacking and defense. But I found vastly more when it came to defense, because when it came to attacking, all it really did was like
more damage.
Right. You'd have to hit
just a simple way to get a little bit more damage in.
Yeah.
And it's optional too, which is nice. Like, you don't always have to do the double hit with the baby and then their big bro.
Yeah, agreed.
But
it was a cool concept.
It's a cool like little flavor thing.
The only very minor criticism is in some fights, like those fucking blocks that just keep summoning. Ugh. It would have been cool if there had been an option to separate them and use them as 4 separate combatants.
Yeah,
just to try to take out all 4 blocks.
But yeah,
but it would have made the game even easier than it is. So
yeah, I think so.
And then you know what I thought was really, really cool was when Baby Mario and Baby Luigi are on Mario and Luigi's back, they don't take damage. But then when Mario or Luigi runs out of HP, they pass out, and then their baby version will like drag them off the left side of the screen and then come running back into fight.
Yeah, it basically gives you a second life bar, and then you go into, then if that baby pet dies, then they have to get scooped up by the opposite brother, and then your dodge timing goes out to lunch.
Yeah,
but which is also another really cool thing that
I love that.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, the one bro goes down, so the other one scoops them up and carries them on their back to dodge attacks. And so you can still dodge your attacks, but yeah, you're carrying a whole other person, so it makes your jump weightier, so you have to jump sooner, and you can't jump as high, so you have to jump sooner, and your timing window gets shortened. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I found so like if you're like, so say Luigi gets knocked out, so baby Luigi, I love when the babies like drag their counterpart off, like just drag them off the screen.
Yeah.
And then come running. They're like, you get over here, get out of the way.
Yeah, just grab Luigi by the ankles and just drag him off the screen.
Yeah. and then baby Luigi comes running back into fight. So now you've got Mario, and he's still got baby Mario on his back, and now baby Luigi is standing beside me fighting. But then, like Keegs said, if he gets knocked out, now Mario has to go over and pick up baby Luigi. So now I have both babies on me. So now my jump is delayed. So now when I'm trying to play defense, it's harder. I don't know about you. I was never able to get very good at the timing when I was holding a downed partner and it was delayed. Yeah, I almost always it was a cool concept, but I almost always I just bit the bullet and used the 1-up mushroom and brought the guy back.
Yeah, same. And that's there. And I'm like, yep, that's the punishment is... It's like, I don't want to get good at dodging while one of my bros is down, because that means I'm not good at the main gameplay loop.
Yeah, and
it's like if I can practice that enough to get good at it, it means like it's not something I don't think you're meant to get good at.
Yeah, no, it's more of like a Hail Mary or like a I always felt there was like a way. It was the game telling you like, hey, you better clean this up pretty fast or you're fucked.
Yeah, like you're not out, but fucking writing's on the wall. Like, get your shit together.
Yeah. So the Mario Brothers jump, the Baby Mario swing hammers. When they're both alive, that you combine, so you either do 2 jumps, or when you want to swing your hammer, like Mario would run up and then he would stand up straight and lift Baby Mario up over his head, and then he'd swing his hammer and just have more force behind it. And that was all good. But from a combat perspective, where the babies and the Marios came together were obviously in the items. Yeah. And using there's these bro items. You have like healing items like mushrooms and stuff like that. But then you get bro items like fire flowers, turtle shells, cannons, and they're all like these little mini games. And the better you are at the timing of hitting the button, the more damage you can do. Some of those are awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And then some of them are kind of meh. It's weird. One last like kind of half criticism. I don't like that they changed it from like abilities that use like MP to items. Just kind of weird to me.
Agreed. Yeah.
And like I said with the whole item goblin thing, if it's like I would have a better time use it like burning through those abilities like it's going out of style, and then actually using my healing items to heal my MP,
Yeah.
like than I
I
do
agree.
having them all be items, because just something about that goblin brain, just like I have 40 of every single bros item, and I'm just like, don't want to use it on the random enemies, because like what if I need all 40 of all 11 items for the boss, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll 100% come along with that. Not a huge criticism, but I would have preferred some magic instead of
Yeah.
every single special attack having to be an item. I agree with that. That said, when you use the items, and I had a ton of them by the end of the game that I burned on the fucking boss, not knowing what to do. When you use the items, some of them, dude, I'll tell you right now I can't remember what it was called, the smash egg. I think the egg where you'd like
Yeah,
bicycle
yeah, the
kick it back
smash
and
egg.
forth. For the
That one's
love of
cool.
fuck, I could not get the timing of that thing down.
Oh
Could
yeah,
not.
yeah. That one's hard. It's you gotta basically just hold the button and let go of kick as soon as the egg comes back onto the bottom screen.
Yeah.
Like the
I
the the timing on some of the those bros items is really loose, and sometimes the time like it's really tight. Some
yeah.
of the windows I find like I feel like the trampoline jump one and the cannon one, those ones start with really wide hit windows, and then obviously the cannon one's just one jump per
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
But like that trampoline, it starts with these really wide windows, and then the timing window tightens up as it speeds up. It's
Sure.
kind of it's kind of weird.
Yeah, if you've not played it, when you use those items, cannon or trampoline, all four brothers will hop on the cannon or the trampoline or jump in the cannon. They get shot up above the second screen, and then one at a time they come falling down, and you have to push the button. So A for Mario, B for Luigi, X for Baby Mario, Y for Baby Luigi, and it doesn't tell you what button it is. It's expecting that, but you've played the game enough that you've learned. This is like each of the four brothers for the entire game is assigned one button.
Mm.
You have to hit it right as they hit the enemy. And if you get good at it, you can do a lot of damage. But I do agree. I found the timing windows in those a little weird. I can't remember what it was called, but there was a flower where you created like endless clones of all four brothers. And then
Okay.
they would just come running in from the left randomly, and you had to hit whatever brother's button corresponded to that brother as they jumped on the enemy's head. And there was a couple, dude, I must have gotten chains of like 30. Like
Oh
it was
yeah.
like trying to play like Simon Says with it, and I was getting really good at it. And
Yeah,
when you
I've
got the
had a
feel
couple
for
trampoline ones that are the same way, where you
yeah,
just have a really good one. I was like, well, glad that was a regular enemy, not a boss.
yeah, and you can do some fucking damage if you get the
Mm.
timing of them down. The two basic ones you're going to use the most are probably the fire flower and the shell. The fire flower, you'll toss there's like a giant fireball or a giant ice ball, and whatever brother uses the item will start with it. So say Mario has it, so you're mashing A to throw fire, and then after a random amount of time, it'll be like hot potato, and he'll throw the big fireball to one of the other brothers. Then you have to mash their button till they toss it, till they toss it, till they toss it. And
For the flowers though, Mario and Luigi do just toss it between each other.
no, but then there's
It's
there's
you
there's
just
another
you get for another one.
yeah, there's another flower where they go both sides, and you throw it with the babies too.
Oh, okay, because like I know
Yeah,
with the regular ice and fire flower, you can just choose to use the babies, but it's what the tooltip, like the little help windows that they show are kind of weird and slow. I don't really like
agreed.
them.
Yeah,
But for those flowers, like basically every Bros move can be used as just Mario and Luigi, as just the babies, and then it does a slightly different thing with all four of them together in the
yeah,
party.
because
And
you can.
the flowers, it just lets the babies can hit aerial enemies, and that's the only difference.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Because
just if the enemies are on the ground, you only ever want to mash A and B and pass it back and forth between Mario and Luigi. But if there's any flying enemies, then whenever Mario or Luigi has the big fireball, you have to use their corresponding baby to hit the flying enemies.
oh,
It's
I don't
like
think I ever did
super,
that.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's super weird and specific and only to those flowers. Like it's just kind of a
Yeah, that's
weird
weird.
thing.
It Like it keeps you on your toes. I like the shells
Mm.
too. Like you can use a red or green shell, and like say Mario uses it, so he'll kick a shell and it'll hit an enemy and then it'll bounce to Luigi, and you have to get the timing of when the shell gets to the Mario brother to kick it back. But if you've got babies with you, you'll put like Baby Mario on top. So then you have to kick the shell with A, then hit Baby Mario's X when it hits the enemy for bonus damage, then hit B when it gets to Luigi to kick it back, then hit X when it hits the enemy for bonus damage, and then A. And I don't know about you, but like when I would get into the zone with like stuff like those shells, I wouldn't even be watching the Mario Brothers on the bottom screen, like for their timing. I would just
Mm.
kind of space out and just do like a rhythm game with it almost.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of what I do too. You kind of just stop focusing because there's so much going on the screen.
so
You just
much, it's
kind of
insane.
yeah, and like I said, with everything getting faster and faster, I think it does hit like a peak. Like this is as fast as it's gonna go. You
Yeah,
just have to keep up now. So yeah,
yeah,
if you kind of like zone out and feel it instead, you can.
yeah.
Everybody can tell we both clearly have smoked weed in in our
Fucking
lives.
nerds.
You really gotta feel the game, bro.
But it's true. You do.
It's
It's hard to
true
explain.
because and it's same thing with the trampoline. I start by looking as the Mario Bro goes down the whole screen, and I look and then make sure I look when I'm clicking on the button. But then as it speeds up, I just kind of like zone out and just I feel the color go down
Yeah.
the top screen, and then
And
just hit that, and like I'm not even looking anymore. I'm feeling it.
yeah. And like, and I don't know what you, but like, fuck me when I get frustrated when I would decide to use my turn to cash in like a special item, and I'd use the special item and then fuck it up on like the first button push
Flub it on the first
and
one,
just be
yeah,
like, what a
every
waste of a
time.
fucking turn. Fuck's sakes. God damn it.
For
Ah,
me, I would always do it on like a boss or something where, like I said, I had the guidebook, so I was kind of tracking HP as I'm going, and
yeah.
I'd be like, well, if I hit the move, like I can probably kill them with this trampoline. And then I don't need to heal. And then I flub the trampoline. It's like, okay, well, Mario's dead now. And now I
Yeah.
have to waste a revival item and healing items.
Totally. I could literally hear this sim. Like I would use like a shell and I'd be like, okay, I've only got like 60 of these shells because I haven't been using them. I'm gonna roll the dice with one here. So Mario would like hold it up and he'd be like, hit A to start. And I'd be like, okay. And I hit
D.
A and then it'd be like auto and I'd be like, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke. And it would go past Luigi and I'd hit the enemy for like 4 and the shell would be gone. I'd be like, damn it, I knew I was
Yeah.
gonna choke.
I,
Like, it
I
never
will
fucked.
say this: the saving grace of fucking up your moves on it though is because we haven't really talked about this much. Man, the game is oozing with style, and it is fucking funny and stylish when you fuck up your moves.
Yeah, it is.
Like watching Luigi miss kicking that shell and just Charlie Browning and eating shit. Like it makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a consolation prize for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's the basics of the combat. And then two things I love about this game. Number one, and I almost forgot to shout it out: no random encounters. Everyone
Mhm.
knows I'm a big fan. I hate random encounters. I love that you can see the enemies.
Yeah. I will
Number
say
two,
little too many enemies.
there are a lot of enemies, but at least they
Yeah.
don't really respawn. I like that.
Yeah,
But you're right. There's a lot
there
of
is
them.
too many. I think just slightly. It's
Yeah.
not really bad. Which I take a few extra enemies on the overworld than a high encounter rate with random encounter
Totally.
because
Look,
I've dealt with that shit. Look, Legend of Dragoon, the encounter rate thing is literally broken if you're going in a specific direction.
I was gonna call out Earthbound Beginnings. Broken
Yeah.
motherfuck. I love Earthbound, but that game can suck my dick. Fuck me. I love the.
I
love the
remember you
random
got me to
encounters.
fire that one up, and I was like, I don't know, man. I did like 30 battles in the first 10 minutes. It's a lot, even for me.
That game is fucking. Earthbound Beginnings was the most obnoxious random encounters I've ever seen. Fucking asinine. So I love that. And then the other thing I love about this game is I hate when I'm playing an RPG and then I get into a town and then I have to find the store and buy like new armor, new headwear, new gloves, new accessories, new weapons, new shields for like 5 party members. In this game, each party member has one piece of clothing and one badge, and that's it.
And
I
you
love the
don't even
simplicity.
really need to change them that often.
You don't. The badge is a
Like-
little more so
Yeah.
if you want to. Like, 'cause you can
I
collect
found
these-
the opposite. I found that I'm sticking with the same badges so far and only really not really upgrading my armor anymore because I found more drop your defense for higher power armor. So I'm just
Sure.
using that full glass cannon.
I well, I found the badges a little bit more useful toward the end of the game. I had to switch a couple because I will say there is a bit of a spike in difficulty at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And I did I switched both Mario and Luigi to a badge where they got a portion of the damage they did back in health, and
Okay,
found
yeah,
that that really
I
helped.
have those ones, but those don't really help in the early game.
Yeah, yeah,
I have the basic healing badges on the bros right now, the ones that just heal at the top of every turn.
right, yeah, which is like
Which I think
which
heals
is
like
nice
5
too.
damage, which
Yeah,
5 damage when you're rocking around 70 HP is a lot better than healing for 3
totally.
when you hit.
Um,
So,
and the other thing was, and this is like a bit of a criticism, but I don't know if it's just that I suck at games or not. And this is going to segue
yes, you do.
into the well, hey, I can beat fucking
There's a whole series dedicated
that.
to it.
Yeah, I beat Battletoads in Battle Maniacs. I have to throw that in there, but anyway. I spent this whole game collecting beans. All right. This whole game, they kept telling me if you see these, when you're playing in the overworld, and we're going to get into the overworld part of the game, you see these circles on the ground with X's in them. They're very easy
Yeah.
to spot. And every time you find one, you want to have Baby Mario and Luigi jump off the big brother's back. And then
Mhm.
Mario jump on Luigi's back. He drills into the ground, and then you drill up on the X and you collect a bean. And the whole game, people are saying, collect these beans. We don't know what they do, but they're very important. And it's a
Yes.
bit of a pain in the ass when you're in the flow and you got to hop off and collect another bean. But I was like,
Yep.
I'm going to collect them because I'm sure it does something good. I beat the game and never used a bean.
Oh
So then I
no!
Googled it and I'm like, what in the fuck were these beans for? There's a store where you can buy special badges
Yeah,
with the beans,
and
but I never
Fawful
noticed the
is back.
store.
Yeah, it's honestly, I had to Google it too because I was playing with the fucking guide and I missed the store and I'm just
Damn
like,
it.
the guide's like, hey, go buy stuff from Fawful. I was like, well, I saw him in the sewers and then he was gone. Where the fuck is he? It's like, oh, when you're in the sewers, you can drill down into the floor and then go through the front grates of the pipes. And
Yeah.
in one of those sewer areas in the the back corner, you go into one of the pipes and then all through a little like kind of not maze but a maze,
Can
and
I?
that's where his store is, and he's got a bunch of stuff for sale. And when I first got to him, which was right when you first find him, when you can first go to him, I was getting every single bean. I even, as soon as I got the hammer drill like dig thing, I went back
Me
and I
too.
got every single bean. So when I first got to him, I had 72 beans. I could buy almost everything from his store except for the most expensive badge he had at the time, which was 90. All the badges, I was like, I don't want any of these right now.
Yeah.
Not a
I
single one. I was like,
oh.
these are like niche uses for like end game shit.
It was
I'm
just
like, yeah.
I
I was like, motherfuck.
Oh fuck! I spent because I didn't want to half-ass this playthrough. I was like, I'm gonna get all these beans. I was like, I tried. I went back. I backtracked just to collect beans. Which, if you've not played it, collecting the beans isn't even fun. It's a pain in the
Yeah.
ass. But I was
It's
like,
honestly not as far as far as like backtracking side
it's not that
questy
bad.
stuff goes. Pretty good. Like,
No, yeah,
like
totally.
there's really only like a few you ever have to go back for at a time, and it's like, oh, it's never like, oh, here's a whole other area that you can go explore to get all these things with this new ability. It's like, hey, here's just a cliff you can get up on now. There's a bean up there.
But my complaint
Yeah.
is that the
The beans
beans
suck.
are supposed
Yeah.
to be these like the beans are supposed to be these hidden collectibles, right? And it's like, okay, that's fun, that's all neat. Wait a minute, so the place to use the hidden collectibles is more hidden than the
Mhm.
collectibles. In
Correct.
what world is this? Like, how am I not near the end game and then just running into a store where he's like, hey, you know how the whole game we were telling you to collect these beans? Bring them
Yeah.
on in. They were just like, did you find the place to use? They didn't even ask me if I found the place to use the beans. I
Yeah.
just beat the game.
Well, like everybody said, nobody knows where you use them. They just all
Fuck.
think they might be important, and they're not
Oh
important.
my God.
Fawful
I
wants
was
them.
like,
Fawful, the
I
best
wasn't,
boy from the first game. He just wants some
oh
beans,
man.
man. Guy likes coffee. That's it.
Like, I wasn't even like livid because I beat the game and it was
Yeah.
fine, but I just was like, so you kept telling me to collect these and then didn't even let me go to the store I needed to use them in? You son of
Yep.
a bitch. Fucking beans. Anyways, didn't
Yeah,
really matter.
like I said, like the stuff he sells isn't. Oh, he doesn't get any new items. That's straight up just all the items that he
Ugh.
sells.
So if you decide after listening to this episode to play this game, if I could offer one piece of advice, skip the fucking beans.
Yeah,
don't
don't
matter.
bother about the beans. The items aren't. You don't need the
They don't
beans.
matter, and they're just annoying. So,
Yeah.
because
Get
quickly,
a few beans maybe if you want, and make sure you go to the store because Fawful is what like the best villain, and
just make
it's a
sure you
shame
find
that
the fucking
yeah,
store
it's a
because they won't
shame
tell you where
that
it is.
he got
Fuck.
brought back in the sequel to only be a shopkeeper in a hidden store that is kind of useless. But
Fuck me, I was mad about those fucking beans.
he
So
has fury.
in the outer world, when you're not in fights, uh again, you're using A and B to make Mario and Luigi jump. Luigi just follows Mario blindly, but you have to actually make them both jump. And there's a lot of times where you're like jumping over a gap, and it's not a big gap. And if you fall, there's no damage to be done. But you do have to hit A and then B, like slightly, like just barely, like roll your thumb
Yeah,
almost.
like 1-2 punch. Yeah, like a
Yeah,
little 1-2 jump jump.
but where I think the game starts to shine, in my opinion, one of my favorite things about the game is as you play throughout it, you pick up more and more abilities for the brothers, both babies and adults, that you can use in this overworld. And then later in the game, it gets to some puzzles where you actually, at any time, you can hit like R and make the babies jump off the Mario's and then control the baby brothers. And they have
Mhm.
different abilities. Baby Mario can swing his hammer to hit like switches and stuff. Baby Luigi can turn into a drill and drill down into the ground to go under grates and pick useless fucking beans.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Same
adult Mario and
abilities from the
Luigi,
first game, just split differently,
yeah. Whereas
which is cool.
adult,
Like it's a cool way that they did it
I loved it.
differently.
Yeah, I
Like
really enjoy. I
yeah,
really, I like baby. Or whereas adult Mario can eventually get the ability to like Mario and Luigi turn into a ball and can roll and stuff, and they can
mhm.
actually squish the babies, and then they can get into
Yeah.
like flat places, which is
The
a little bit
what's
fucked
that
up. But
ability called? What's that ability called? The fucking the is it the baby pancake?
yeah, I think so. And you
I think
basically
that's what it's
squash
called.
these
Like yeah, the
infants.
baby pancake.
Yeah, and then Luigi can turn them into like a tornado and like they can float across things and then you
Yeah.
can use the brothers' abilities to interact with each other and then sometimes you need to split up and like Mario and Luigi will be on a path down below and baby Mario and Luigi will be up an event hitting switches to move stuff from down below. I mean, it's stuff we've all done in video games, but I got to say I don't know if I hit a single puzzle in the game where I found it to be a nuisance to do. Like I none of them are really that head scratcher, but I always enjoyed the
Mhm.
puzzle aspects. I thought they
Yeah.
were well done.
Yeah, they simplified it. I think just they didn't want to get too crazy with the adding the two extra buttons.
No,
Like, because
agreed.
this is a game for kids. Like,
It
we
is.
kind of like they're very heavy-handed on the tutorials too, which it can be. I think that like the tutorials are very like invasive. Like they fully take you out of the game to a new area to tutorial you. But I like that. Like they're funny. They've got like the art that goes on the top screen and stuff. Like they're fun enough. Like I think it's a fun try spin on the tutorials. I get why they are that heavy handed because it's Mario. It's for kids. But
Yeah, and like if you don't like if you're playing this game and you don't figure out some of the puzzles like or some of the mechanics they're throwing at you, you will straight up be fucked. Like they're
yeah,
not overly hard to learn, but like Keeg said, the tutorials are very like we're not going to let you go out there and play the game until you prove to us you know how to do this
yeah,
because you
that
will
is
be
the nice
fucked.
thing. Yeah, because yeah,
Yeah.
you will lock yourself it out. Like you can get yourself soft locked basically if like you get into a spot where if it's you're not picking up the battle system like you should have, and you just can't win. Like me when
Yeah.
I got a little too high sometimes. I'm like, fuck, I can't dodge anything to save my life. Just
Totally.
burning through items. But
But for the
yeah,
most part, though, I mean, we got our criticisms out of the way off the top. I thought the end game was a little long. I hated that end boss. The Magic Bean store can go rotten hell, but
yeah.
for the
But
most
none of my
part, I
criticisms are like bad. Is it's none of
it
it's
was a
like bad. It's just it's either good or like meh.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I played it for about like I said, it took me 18 or 19 hours. I beat the whole game, and I was playing it pretty obsessively for a few days to get ready for this
Mhm.
episode, and especially when it comes to RPGs, I hear all of you that are like, cover more RPGs. I fucking know. Part of the problem with them is I try to play a game every week for the show, and especially when it's an RPG and a turn-based RPG, I do get bored, and I do get to the point where I'm like, I think it's hurting my impression of this game just because it's not the game has done anything wrong. I just don't feel like playing it anymore. And
Yeah.
outside of the very, very end of Partners in Time, I never felt that way. I enjoyed this game throughout. It's the writing spot on, the graphics are good, the puzzles are cute. Uh the soundtrack, like Keeg said, was very,
Oh,
very good.
soundtrack is so fucking good, man. When you
The
first get
boss
to
music's
Yoshi's
fire.
Island, I was kind of like when I started replaying it, I'm like bopping around to the music and stuff. But man, you first go to Yoshi's Island and that OG Yoshi's Island track
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
just hits
yeah.
different. Oh, so good.
I don't have a lot of complaints. It was, you know what the thing is? I haven't played Paper Jam and I haven't played
Dream
the
Team.
sleeping one,
Dream Team's so good.
Dream
Oh,
Team.
Dream Team's great.
And
I'll get
someone
that over to you sometime. I have it.
yeah, and someone wrote into the show and said that Bowser's Inside Story was their favorite, which I believe if you go to Metacritic, Bowser's Inside Story is the highest rated. I think I was looking at it today.
Yeah.
I haven't played one of these since Bowser's Inside Story came out 15 years ago. I quite enjoyed this, and to be honest, like I'm not in an immediate hurry to do another one, but I've got a hankering for another. I'm definitely picking up the new one when it comes out now.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
on the fence about it, but now I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to pick this Brotherhood one up. These are really fun little games. It's too bad that. Well, I guess they're not all stuck on the OG hardware because they keep remaking them and fucking re-releasing them. So
Yeah, the only one that's like I guess this is probably the most stuck game in the franchise right now
yeah,
because
yeah.
everything else is on the 3DS.
And I can't remember what this one cost me. I'm looking for it right now. My receipt. I got a complete box for $40.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Which was like
If it was like
retail.
60, 70, I would tell anybody listening, like don't go, it's not go pay 60, 70 bucks for it. I don't personally think it's that good, but
Yeah. Like $40 is probably what it cost when it was brand new. And I got a complete in box and I played it for 20 hours and thought it was fun.
I think. Well, let me go see it. I lost my cart, but my guidebook is my original guidebook. I think I still have the original box, but not the game.
That's
Probably was 40
that's
bucks.
priorities.
Yeah.
Most people keep the cartridges and throw out the boxes. Keegs.
Yeah, usually.
Keegs was an odd child. He threw his games away. He kept the boxes on the shelf.
I wasn't even a child when this came out. I was a teenager. I had no fucking excuses.
Oh, fuck. No, it's a good
40
game.
bucks sounds right. Yeah, I'd pay 40 bucks again for it.
I have no regrets. It was good.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to cover?
Most of my criticisms, honestly, are just the fact that, like, just the rest of the series does some stuff better. It's one of those games where there's no bad games in the series. They're all at least meh.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was good. I will say that, like, I know some people were stoked about the shrooms. I didn't totally buy into the shrooms. I would have I honestly, call me old fashioned. I would have preferred it if Bowser had gone back in time and teamed up with his young self and you would have fought them. But
honestly, because we had a non-Bowser bad guy for the first game, so it would have been kind of nice going back to Bowser.
Yeah, but I'm old school.
Third game, Bowser's not the bad guy. I'm trying to remember if he was bad guy in Dream Team. I don't think so.
Oh man, you know what would have been sick is if Wart had been the bad guy in Dream Team.
Maybe he is.
No, there's no way. I gotta look now. Wart, Nintendo, because I don't think he's been in another game.
No, I don't think he is. But fuck me, that would be good.
Like, I want Wart back so bad. Wart was such a fucking great, stupid character. Stupid Wart. Anyway, yeah, just Super Mario Brothers 2. All right. We gotta score this thing. We're gonna call it. This is my third episode in 7 hours. I don't want to talk anymore. Fuck. What are we gonna score this thing out of? Does it say how far back in time they went? No, it doesn't.
I mean, I think we can math it. Mario's like 35, isn't he?
I have no idea.
How old is he supposed to be?
I don't know. You know what? How about this? Might be the worst scoring system we've ever used. Molly is 13, and she's laying here looking at me.
Perfect.
So out of 13 Molly years, how many Molly years would you give Mario and Luigi Partners in Time?
Partners in Time, I think, is going to get a solid 11 and a half.
Oh, that's a good score.
It's just, like I said, it's my criticisms are like, they're not even that like, hey, this is a bad thing about the game. It's just kind of like, this could be better. And then it did get better. Like, it's
That's fair. Yeah.
It's a fine game. It didn't knock my socks off or anything like that. But not every game has to. Not every
No.
game has to be Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Not Rebirth.
No, not Rebirth. I'm still fucking plugging away at that game.
Rebirth never ends. I'll give it like a 10. It's like a 7.5. I mean, guys, yeah, it is an RPG, guys. All right, but it was good. I spent $40. I played it for 20 hours. I beat it. I enjoyed it. I have no regrets. I don't know if I don't imagine I'll ever play it again in my life ever. But it was fine. I'll give it a 10 out of 13.
Yeah, I'll add that on as like a replay. Not a lot of replay value. There's not as many different mini games to play, or like there's like no post game stuff. The rest of the series, like after this, has way more to do afterwards. If you find a way to play this game, cool, play it. It's great. But like if you're looking for like I want to play Mario and Luigi all the fucking time, play a different one.
And it's not one of those games where your decisions alter the. There's literally no decisions to be made.
Yeah, like I played this game in 2005 when it came out. I played it again this year, maybe in another 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm done. But I promise y'all, we'll do more.
But it's not bad. But it's not bad. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's just it's fine. It's a fine game.
I promise you all, before the show ends, we will cover. We've done Superstar Saga. You can find it in the archives. Now I've done this one. I promise you, before the show ends, unless I get canceled somehow, we will do at least one more of these games because I quite enjoyed this. And now I've gone from.
If you did all the other three. I know a guy who can talk about them.
I don't know about 3 more of these, but I will say I'm definitely going to get Brotherhood now. I was on the fence, but now I'm going to get this new one, Brotherhood. So,
I got high hopes for it. I'm
Me
not
too
a
now.
guy that likes to hype up games, especially not in a series that I really love, where the developer was shut down by Nintendo, and the series is getting revived. But I have hope.
Yeah, me too. In case anyone's wondering, November 7th.
Yeah.
Brothership is coming out. So.
They can't do Origami King again, can they?
Oh God, fucking Origami King, fuck me. Oh God.
Nah, it's fine. Paper Mario lost its way long before Origami King. Mario and Luigi
I agree.
is doing a solid fucking 7 for 7. The only reason Bowser's Inside Story remake didn't do well is because it came out after the Switch did.
Sure. Listen, you're not going to hear me. I'm not even going to. I am not kicking the Paper Mario Hornet's Nest again because I'll get more questions about Super Paper Mario. Stopped the 1,000-year door. I'm done. It's fine. Yeah. It's good. That's it. Or fuck it.
It's not an RPG anymore, and that's fine. Right from the dude that made it.
This episode goes live in literally 120 minutes, so I need to get it edited and done so we can get it out for the world. Buddy. Good talking to you. Thanks as always for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Huzzah. That is going to do it for this week's episode, Keegs. Thank you so much for giving me a call and talking Mario and Luigi, partners in time, and to every single one of you hot dogs right now listening to this. Whether this was your first Remember the Game, your 307th, some rant, maybe your 69th, ninth. Thank you. I know there's a lot of retro gaming podcasts out there competing for your ears, and that you let me get in there with the wax and everything. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for giving us a chance. If you want more of these, son, patreon.com/remember the game. There are 650 plus. We're actually at almost 700 bonus podcasts waiting for you. Subscriptions start at just $3 a month. They're all ad-free. You can add them to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, listen to them right off Patreon, whatever you want. It is the bee's knees. There's a dozen freebies over there that you can go listen to right now without even signing up if you want to see what all the hubbub is about. And, leave us a nice review. I haven't got a nice review in a while. I got like a mediocre review a couple weeks ago. Someone gave us 3 stars and said I kind of suck. So if you like us, a 5-star Adam Doesn't Suck review that would feel nice. But I mean, yeah, do whatever you want. It's your life. Do whatever you want. I'm on Twitch, Twitch.tv/remember the game. I probably won't be on there too much the next week and a half or so because we're moving to our new house, but I'm doing my best to get on there and play some. I've been working on Batman for the NES. I can get to the final level now, and then I'm stuck. But I'm getting close. I'm going to beat that fucking game. And I'm going to try to sneak in some Vector Man streams this week, too. Because that's what we're reviewing next week. Assuming nothing goes wrong, remember the game 308 in 7 days will be all about Vector Man for the Sega Genesis. Should be a good fucking time. I'll be back tomorrow for all our Patreons, ranking my 10 favorite Sega Genesis games to date. And, I'm done. I got nothing else to plug. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to thank some patrons and get out of here. Thank you all so much for listening. I appreciate all of you. And I will talk to you on the next one. Cheers. So long. Goodbye. Remember, the game is brought to you by our Patreons. I could not puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support. The following people are at the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/remember the game, and as such, I am contractually obligated to say all their names at the end of every episode of this show. So a huge thank you. We're just going to go oldest to newest this week because I'm tired and I'm going to go muscle memory this week. A huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer, Slick Motherfucking Rick, Makeshift Mellow Magic Money, Joe Buck, Sharonic, Jay Nasty 15, The Keegs, James Clark, Dave McGee, Dan of Dissect That Film, Doug Dorn, Chris Fleury, Andrew Wright, Jordan, Confused But Still Here, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, Nathan Tremblay, A-Town, Morgan, Zane Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Mercury 869, Wolfgang Darren, Andy Hudson, Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squints, Titan 420, Zonko 504, Jeff Bergeron, Daniel, John Woodruff, Randy Barrage, Just a Fish, Philadelphia Fartmouth Collins, Farts. Holmes, Zach Shepard, Frosty Feet 492, Triple, Chugger 22, Elijah Burns, Madam Nutsitch, DBXJ, Jameer Williams, Steve Dalk, Standard Ass Brian, Mizuru, Juristalk Mario, Tyler, Phil Lencher, Joe the Sandman, Eric James, Jake Carter, Biddy, Laces Out Dan, Growly Wog, Beaver Boy, Thomas Smith, Leroy Westrich, Rush's Dog Walker, Stud Still Smash, Brant Hewitt, Matt Babineau, Gabe, Dan Fusselman, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon who's not a surgeon Row, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scary Terry, Archangel Otaku, Earl, Hagel Waffle, Jimothy, Oroku Saki's Gardener, Band, Cody Richardson, General Fury, and Boys on the Roof. I cancel my Netflix to afford this shout out. Max Lagroom, James Juan Francesco, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Jugs Bad MK, Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude Walter, Nerdy Hybrid, The Fletchman, Sleeper Hit, Squeak Nuts, Isaias, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Wimp 15, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Radioactive Man, Busty Meadle, Graham Kennedy, John M. Watkins, Timothy Sabrinsky, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry, Hitchy Poo, Burt Macklin, Quiet Place Queen, Cam Nelly 23, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat. That's a lot of names. Tadpole, T-Bear 87, Maverick, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Monstrous D. Boner, AB Killen, Works For Me, Alexander Camps, Tom Foolery, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Alex R, Itchy Nutsaru, Just Car Pranks, Rated X, Int, Darth Skywalter, Postman, Nick Creature, Youngster TK, Adam Martinet, The Big Deal, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Nordak, Mario Kart Tour is the superior Mario Kart. Oh, that's a hot take. Lord Palmerston, Beers of War, Because 19, Marcus Mendoza, Lord Longrod, Bod Hugendon II, Roger Staubox Pool Cleaner, Lucas Shaman, Frosty Bear, Max Sandin, Sour Goatface, Alex Ramos, Faded Sufferance, Benjamin Atkins, Carbon Fiber Zombie, Chris Hill is a master tromboner, Mellow Yellow 8787, B Money, Tyler Bauer, Fallen Snow Kiku, The Supreme Chozorizo, Fill Up My Farts with Mouth, E-Man Trucker, Mark Sneed, Atrio Wormwood, Shoeboxers, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Jay Callahan, Robbie Air Guy Who Does Things, Sabin, Brian Richmond, Blobby Rogers, Blue Scoppin, Bula, Matt Zeus, Plow King, Cesar, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Liquor Like Luigi, Cody Thompson, Put It in H, Chaz Hammond, Elephant Calves, Ace McGuy, Mr. Jabrodi, Big Daddy Randall, Ida Yellow, Ryan Whitcomb, AJ McCurgy, Lotus, Nothing Could Possibly Go Wrong, Toby OP, Scotty McGee, Alex McIntyre, Spider Cat, Z Train 22, S, Eric Hopewell, Darbles, Funky C, Funky Do, David Schroeder, Theodore, Diablo Spartan, Justin Blair, McCracken, Wilco, VOS Rager, Super Jess, Captain Steve N, Adam's former assistant, Ryan Stemmerding, Shank the Rat-Faced Bastard, Crystal Lake Management, Leo, Dazerus, Super Saiyan, Sad Sephiroth. Worst that I ever said. Savage Boosh, Beat on the Moan, Combo Chuck, Travis Sanders, Rills, Lord Salazar, Zen Paladin, and Blank. Thank you all so much for the support, you magnificent bastards. Appreciate all of you. Cheers, so long, goodbye.